So hi everyone, welcome to this wonderful celebration. I'm Yvonne Heath of Love Your Life to Death, and we are celebrating National Grief Awareness Day. And when I say celebrating, what that means is that we are having these conversations. We're taking grief out of the darkness into our conversations, sharing stories. And I know from my experience, from speaking to hundreds and hundreds of people, that is how we help ourselves heal and each other. And I am so honored this morning to be with my new friend Angie Cartwright, the founder of National Grief Awareness Day. Good morning, Angie. How are you doing in your storms in Kansas?
Yeah, so hang in there with us, guys, as we go through today.
Yes, well,
lots of storms.
Hurricane Laura has now there's a tropical storm, and it's coming your way. Here in Muskoka, I'm in Ontario in Canada.
Wow.
As we were speaking, suddenly the rain started to pour really hard. And you know what? I think that is just so ironic as we talk about the storms of life. And sometimes life is unpredictable. Prepare for anything. And so we may be glitchy. Some things might happen in our connection. So I want to share your story, Angie. I would love for you to talk a little bit about your life's journey. You've had some tremendous grief in your life, and I just honor you so much for wanting to create something positive from that to help other people, and thank you for that. And yes, can you please share a little bit about your story?
Yeah, well, thank you, Yvonne, for having me here today. It's an honor to be with you. Namaste.
Namaste.
Yes, for sure. And my grief story started out at the age of 5, and my sister Erica was 11 months old, and I was 5 years old, and she was very ill, and I happened to be the one that woke up that morning, and I found her, and she was not there anymore, and she had died. And I went to wake my mom, who was sleeping next to her, and all I remember is those screams and crying for my mother, and my mom was just running out the door with my sister. And my mom told me later on that it took 7 firemen to get Erica out of her arms. And later on, those nights following, when the grieving is hitting her, and of course I didn't even know the word grief. I'm 5 years old, but she was wailing those tears, and I've heard those tears before, but nobody wants to hear them or experience them necessarily. But they are those tears from the soul, I believe, and I call them soul tears today. She would, at 5, for some reason, I knew to go sit out there and just listen to her. And I don't know where that came from. I think, like I've said in the past, different places, that I think our body, our soul knows what to do when it's called. And even though at 5 I couldn't fix her, but I didn't have the idea of fixing her. And I think that's what the innocence of coming into this world is like. I naturally just wanted to listen to her, and I worried about her, but I didn't think about fixing her. I just kept saying it. I love you, Mom. It's okay. It's okay. At a little girl's level. So, that was my very first experience with grief, and I was young, so it was different, a different experience, and so many levels, because I think I was grieving for my mother.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I was grieving it for my mother, who I was sad for my mother, and then and she was lost in the world of grief, so she's doing the best that she can, So the next, we moved to Kansas from California, and the next loss that we experienced would have been my Uncle Tony, who had schizophrenia, and he was in the hospital at the time and had skipped the med line and went down a back stairway, and had hung himself.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, died by suicide.
Oh.
So yeah, our family, and I remember my mom at the time was actually having my sister Megan in the hospital, and the doctor at that time said let's not tell her till she goes home.
Oh my gosh.
And
So
you
that was
wonder,
her brother. That was
it
her
was
brother.
her brother, yeah. And you wonder today how that had been handled in a medical setting. You know, the woman, my mom just had a baby. The doctor did not want her to know right away because, you know, she was just all joyful. My sister was born and all that. So they hid it from her for 3 days.
Oh boy.
And so as a child, I remember driving up and I remember this big circle in our front yard. And all of a sudden my mom just dropped to the ground, you know, and
Your
so they
mother.
told her, yeah. So, again, my mom was thrown back into the world of grief. Our family was, you know, everybody was grieving in their own way. We all have a different relationship with the person that has passed, you know.
Yeah.
So the next loved one, my grandmother, Pearl, wonderful woman, had died.
Oh, hang on, Angie. I can't hear you. So, yeah. So just hopefully they can hear me. And then when I can hear, you can't hear me either. Okay. Well,
There we are.
There we are. We're back. Okay. Grandmother Pearl.
Yeah, Grandma Pearl, and she sadly got stomach cancer, and she died pretty quickly. She died to the point where she didn't even have hospice. She died by stomach cancer quickly, and so later in life, her husband, my grandpa Henry, who loved her to death, is one of those marriages that they were just going to be together forever, and you know, it was just amazing love story. Great couple. Well, he lived past the age of my grandma for quite a long time, and his death today is still, you know, it's a very hard thing to talk about in the family, but you know, he's dearly missed. It was a tragic situation, and I don't really want to go to all the details for her family for this one.
Yeah.
But you know, he died suddenly and tragically, and he was 70 years old, and it was definitely prematurely taken his life. So, and then after that, I was 21 years old, and like I said before, I married the guy in the rock and roll band, and he was actually a singer, and it was a real rock and roll band. You know, it wasn't just a made up story. And we were young, and we were partying at the time, and love music. We both loved music, and I loved watching him play. You know, he was an amazing musician, and Tom was. And so one night, we used to drive the same way kind of home on the back roads, you know, as kids, or being sneaky.
Yes.
And both under the influence of alcohol. And
as I was many times in my youth, foolishly.
Yes. Yes. Oh, yeah. I did it a lot. And we did it. We didn't even think about it. You know, you're just going to get home, take the back roads, go slow, and listen to music, you know. Well, that fateful night, he was on the same road, and he must have hit part of the edge of the dirt road, and he grabbed our car, and he hit an embankment. And the cops told us later that we were going almost 100 miles an hour. So, yeah, he didn't make it. And like I talked about, I had a lot of survivor's grief with that.
Oh my God.
He has a beautiful daughter. And she at the time was 5 years old. And, you know, and I'd ask God, I'd say, God, why did you, I know I have children, God, but I said, why did you take that man? You know, his daughter, this daughter doesn't have her daddy. And so I really, there was some really horrific grief there for a while that you feel very disconnected from the world. The world doesn't make sense, you know, things like that. And so that next 10 years was very awful. Some of it was self-imposed, you know, stuff that I could have done, turned left, and I turned right instead. And when there wasn't much help, I can say that. I had a pamphlet thrown at me a month after he passed, and it was the pamphlet was for people who were dying of cancer. and it was a group. Well, I'm thankful today that they had that and that was there, but it did not. I'm at a month out of a death like that, and I'm not even comprehending what's really happening yet. And but I was told to get over this, and I needed to catch myself up, and your children need you, and all that. Although some of those things were true, I was unable to function. Unable to function.
Yeah.
And so later down in life, we come to my mom, 2010, and we had a wonderful 5 to 6, 7, 8 years. She moved where I lived, and we were both in recovery together. And she hold on just a second.
So recovery, because when you were grieving alcohol,
we were both in recovery. I've been in recovery since 2003.
Good for you. Yeah.
And I had a relapse after 7 years,
Mm-hmm.
and by God's grace, I'll have 10 years in October.
Of being sober, is that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
for you.
Yes.
Good for you.
And my mother was, I was thinking about her the other day, and I thought she was a hero of mine. And she had been trying. She tried all through her life to stay sober and do the next right thing. The disease of addiction is not pretty, and it's not just just say no. It's not something like that. And
that doesn't work. No.
What's amazing, and I have to say this in this video, tomorrow is National Overdose Day, I think, right? Yes.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure, and Angie gets things wrong, but I'm pretty sure that it's about overdose tomorrow.
Okay.
And
we will
kind of thing that, because my mom, we found a National Grief Awareness Day.
Yes.
On her birthday,
yeah.
which is Sunday. And
I can't hear you. You can't hear me either? Okay. Well, wait. We'll be like, Storms.
Here we go.
You're not there. So we just had a little Zen moment. And
yes.
And your mother's name is Rhonda? Yeah.
Sue.
So August 30th is Rhonda's birthday.
Yes.
That is why you chose National Grief Awareness Day as August 30th, which I think is beautiful.
Yeah, it's really, my mom, I'm not saying she never had a voice, but, we wanted to honor her for sure and never forget her. We didn't want nobody to forget her. Well, this is a good way to do that. I wasn't thinking a little bit about that until the future, about, wow, she will be remembered, for a while, for a long time to come, even when I'm not here. And that's just an amazing thing, because my mom would be so tickled to be of service in this way. She really would be. She was that kind of tender-hearted, woman.
Beautiful.
And so,
Angie, your story, and I know there's still more grief that you've gone through, but I just have to say that the fact that you keep on keeping on, and one of the most beautiful words of wisdom that I was bestowed in my journey was how we can get through our deepest grief when those we loved have died, is to be the evidence that someone's life made a difference.
Amen.
Yes. And you are being the evidence that everyone's life made a difference in sharing their stories. And so I thank you for that. No. And I know life still isn't a bed of roses for you right now.
I've got some ongoing grief going on right now.
Yes.
And I'm not at the point to really be able to talk about it.
That's okay.
And I think that's a beautiful thing for me to say, because
absolutely,
that's where that healing is, right there in that moment of me saying, but I don't think I'm ready to discuss it right now.
Yeah.
And I never felt comfortable or saw anyone comfortable with them being able to just straight up say, I've got some stuff going on right now. I can talk about this, but I can't talk about that.
Yep.
And so I do have some going on right now, and I hope to be able to share that here soon.
Mm-hmm.
But National Grief Awareness Day was born out of that, of our mom's stuff that we just talked about. And so basically, after asking some family members and getting support from the grievers around me and in the Facebook groups and stuff like that, I took the plunge. And it's easy to put up a page and then hit publish and wonder where we're going to go.
Yes, yes.
And so it's been 10 years, and I didn't look at the numbers this morning. I'm sorry, on our
That's okay.
petition, but it's a strange thing. I don't worry about how many we get.
Yeah.
I stopped years ago doing that.
And you're talking about getting signatures to create, so what is it that you're talking about, or what is your goal with it, so that everybody understands? And I would encourage everyone to support.
Yeah. So what our main purpose, our real purpose is to connect the grieving community, the grieving world.
Yes, the world.
At any level, for any kind of heartache, heartbreak. If your heart's hurting, you're grieving at some level, and it's okay. So we wanted to connect people like that all around the world, and I wanted to change the language around grief. So I wanted to start putting different kinds of words into our conversations. And I also wanted to take out some words in the conversations, those hurtful things that are being said to people, which push grievers down deeper in caves almost, to where they're not coming to the light at all. And they are just, that in itself is like a double kind of grief. It's like you lose your loved one, and then all of a sudden when the love's, everybody kind of runs away, the person has lost all of that.
Yes.
All their friends and stuff. And then they've lost, they're just lost, and it's empty, and
alone.
And alone. And if you go to the people that you do love, who don't understand really, then they say the things they think they're supposed to say. And so the other thing about National Grief Awareness Day is to help each other to learn, if I'm not grieving, but how do I help them? What do I say? What do I not say? We always say listening is the first thing. If you can just listen, and you're just, what does it say? What do you just say?
Just show up.
I love that. I love that tagline. Yes.
Thank you. Just show up. Your hot, messy self. Allow your humanness. Allow all emotions. Allow your tears, laughter, all of it. A beautiful mess. Exactly.
Yes.
Just allow it. It's not our job to fix it. We can't fix grief. How we fix it is by allowing it to exist.
Exactly. So what I did was I was like, look, we need a day, and we need to get this to the President of the United States. And my family looked at me like, are you, Mom, really? A grieving thing, and I said, you guys, it's bigger than you think.
Yeah.
It really is. And it's been around a long time as far as the pain part of it. And it's time for solutions. And so, I want us to be able to one day be there with the President of the United States and him signing this day into a day of education and awareness.
Beautiful.
And to make it one that comes like it does, like we're doing already.
Yeah.
And then people who are working in the field can, use this day to connect with others for sure. But, really Grief Awareness Day is that one day, but we're hoping to let people know that, hey, tomorrow, the day after National Grief Awareness Day, there's still work to be done. It doesn't
stay connected. Let's stay connected.
Grief
right?
doesn't stop. Grief doesn't stop. And we've got a lot of teaching to do.
Oh my goodness, Angie, this is like music. This is like music to my heart and soul, because grief knows no borders. And I mean, you're in the United States, I'm in Canada. You're talking about National Grief Awareness Day. This is about sharing this with the world.
Yes.
And we all grieve regardless of age, skin color, culture, sexual orientation, economic situation, ability, disability, and where we live. And this day is just to start those conversations.
Exactly.
And your goal and my goal, and I've met many other beautiful people doing this work, is to continue these conversations. This is the starting point to continue these conversations. And to, for me, talking about grief before it arrives and helping people to understand, where do we teach people? Where do we talk about grief? Where do we help people understand that it's experienced in all changes, transitions, losses, even in good transitions, right? There's a grief of your old life or your old situation, and we are so ill prepared. And people think like grief is over here, mental health is over here. And what I say is, I promise that being ill prepared for grief, and when it is unresolved or not acknowledged, will either cause or compound mental health issues. So, right? So let's change these conversations. And I love, love, love what you are doing. I love what you have brought to the table. National Grief Awareness Day. I'm excited about the day because
we need signatures on that petition.
You need signatures on the petition
to what, 1 million, because I want them to know that we're serious.
Let's do it. And we'll post the little Jordy and I signed today, just so you know.
Thank you.
Yes, we signed. That's 2 more. And what a beautiful movement to be a part of. And I'm truly excited about this day. I had the honor of speaking to many people and sharing their stories. We did like 10 to 20-minute talks, because my greatest gift in this world is my ability to find amazing people. That is my gift. I said, I don't even have to be smart or anything. I don't have to be smart or anything. People. And so to share your story, Angie, to shed light on National Grief Awareness Day, to share other people's stories, what an honor for me. And I know that we are going to stay connected.
Yes, thank you. I would love that.
We're in this, and I encourage everyone to listen to all the videos that I've posted, the beautiful stories I've shared. Go to National Grief Awareness. Well, certainly sign the petition to get those 1 million signatures. And let's keep this conversation going. You have you have a Facebook page and National Grief Awareness Day, right? So let's just celebrate the fact that, you know, when the things that you went through and you didn't have the help, we are changing that.
We are changing.
And we need to continue. Yes, we need to
I believe that that's a celebration. You know, people would be like, well, there's nothing to celebrate and we grieve every day. And I understand that, but that's not what we're really saying into some sense. You know, we're talking about, we're celebrating that we're coming out of the dark, that we're having the conversation, and there's some relief in that, knowing that, you know, even if tonight one person comes upon a grief page, any page of grief, and starts seeing all this stuff, goes, oh my God, they talk like I feel, and boom, they make that connection. And I've heard many people have that story, and that helped to free them out of this self-constructed prison that grief. When I say self-constructed, sometimes we have to actually block people out of our lives when we're grieving because of the harm that's being done. That's on the heart. That's on the highest level. But sometimes we've also self-constructed it ourselves because we don't know what to do again. And then again, nobody knows what to do with us. And so I want us
let's change that.
And that's what we're doing.
And we can do better. And here's the thing is that grief is sometimes the price of living and loving, but it's worth it, and our hearts will heal if we learn how to take better care of ourselves and each other. And that's our whole movement. Just show up for yourself first, and just show up for each other. And we'll continue these conversations. We'll continue to stay connected and be the change we want to see in the world.
Right. I love that. Yes.
Right. That is what we're doing.
Yep, exactly.
And so, Angie, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm excited about this day, National Grief Awareness Day. We are celebrating on your mother's, Rhonda's birthday. We celebrate all that she was, and being the evidence that her life made a difference, and you are making a difference. So thank you so much, my friend, for all that you are doing.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Okay, everybody, don't forget to sign the petition to create this National Grief Awareness Day. Get that president to sign, whoever that might be, when this is all done. And yes, and let's keep having these conversations. So thanks so much. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye.